Finally, there's an advent calendar built just for matcha lovers. In this video, we're going to talk about our new matcha advent calendars that just arrived and what types of teas you can expect to find in them. We don't want to give away too much because we want each morning of December to feel like a surprise, like waking up to a small gift from Japan with a thoughtful poem to contemplate while you sip your tea. These teas are the best matchas we found during our travels around Japan, and we put them all together in a curated set so you can learn about the different flavor profiles of matcha while you get into the holiday spirit. Let's go through the different types of matcha teas and the different regions that they hail from. So first, this advent calendar contains 24 different matcha teas, one for each December morning before Christmas. They can essentially be broken down in two different categories: the region and farm where they are produced, and the cultivar or tea plant variety used to make them. First, let's start with the region. So Shizuoka is the largest tea growing region in Japan, and it's only fitting that 9 of our matcha teas are from here. This region is located right outside of Tokyo, and it's known for both larger plots of flat land as well as mountainous terrain. The Osada family has the quintessential Shizuoka mountain tea farm. When we visited them, they took us up into the mountains, and we got to see the so-called organic village where their tea is produced. Here, the tea plants benefit from rocky, mineral-rich soils, and you can even taste the minerality in the tea itself. This is a great example of how the growing conditions of the plant can affect the flavor of the tea. Next, we have 5 different matcha teas from Kyoto. Kyoto is the historic heart of Japan. It served as the capital for over 1,000 years, and during this time, there was a renaissance in art, culture, and even tea. Kyoto is known for producing the best tea in Japan for hundreds of years, and talented farmers like Mr. Noike are working hard to uphold that legacy. When we met with him, he showed us around his tea field in the middle of a pinewood forest. The tea plants are able to benefit from partial shading throughout the day, which actually makes the taste smoother and sweeter. The Noike Matcha is just one of many delicious Kyoto teas you can try when you get the Matcha Advent Calendar. Next, we have Uji, perhaps the most famous region for tea production today. In this Matcha Advent Calendar, we have 3 different teas from this region, all of which are produced by Mr. Takada at Sanoka. His family has been growing tea in this region for over 100 years, and they still continue a lot of the older traditions when it comes to the growing, processing, and roasting of the teas. For example, he is one of just a handful of farmers that produces the roasted Kyoto Matcha using a technique that has long been abandoned by larger tea manufacturers. The matcha produced by Mr. Takada has a rich, velvety texture and a smooth flavor. Next, we have 3 matcha teas from Asamiya. Asamiya is known as one of the 5 great ancient tea regions of Japan, and premium matcha is still grown here along the shores of Lake Biwa, Japan's largest lake. In the Matcha Advent Calendar, we also have 2 matcha teas from Mr. Sakamoto in Kagoshima. Mr. Sakamoto has been growing organic green tea since 1985, but he just recently started producing matcha, and we fell in love with it as soon as we tried it. When we last visited him, we learned about his unique fertilization technique that allows him to grow strong, flavorful tea plants without the use of pesticides or chemicals. The 2 matcha teas from Mr. Sakamoto are bold and robust, with a strong savory or umami flavor. Next, we have Chiran, a beautiful village in the far south of Japan. This region benefits from a warm, subtropical climate, mild winters, and rich volcanic soils, all of which lead to flavorful matcha tea. Last but not least, we have 1 matcha from Mr. Henta in Kirishima. Mr. Henta is an expert on tea plant varietals or cultivars. Even though he manages just a small plot of land, he is able to grow 8 different tea plant varieties, which he masterfully combines into different tea blends. For the Henta matcha, which is included in the Matcha Advent Calendar, he uses the Saemidori cultivar, which is known for its light and sweet flavor. Speaking of cultivars, what are some of the other tea plant varieties you can expect in this Advent Calendar? Yabukita is the most common tea plant variety in Japan, and it's also the most common variety in our Matcha Advent Calendar. This cultivar has a flavor that a lot of matcha tea drinkers are looking for, strong and vegetal with a hint of this savory or umami flavor. Next, we have Okumidori, which has become popular amongst the neo-teas community for its smooth and balanced flavor. If you're looking for a green tea that doesn't have any bitterness, Okumidori is a great option. We also have some Saemidori teas, as we mentioned before, which are known for their light and sweet flavor and their lack of bitterness. So now we're starting to get into the more rare cultivars, like Gokou. The Gokou cultivar is sought after by the true matcha connoisseurs because of its bold, savory flavor. If you really like this rich, umami taste in your matcha tea, you'll love the Gokou. We also have an Asanoka Matcha, which is quite rare to find outside of a few select regions. This tea has a strong amino acid profile, giving it a great aroma and savory flavor. There's also a Sayamamidori Matcha in the Advent Calendar, which is one of the first cultivars to be discovered in Japan. It has a wonderful color, flavor, and aroma, and because it's a rare tea, it's definitely going to give you a unique drinking experience. There are some other cultivars included in this matcha advent calendar, but I wanted to leave some of it as a surprise for you in December. If you've ever been interested in trying some of our matcha teas, now is the perfect time. We would really appreciate it if you could go to neoteas.com and pick up your advent calendar for the month of December. Thank you all so much for letting us be a part of your tea journey. If you like this video, please subscribe to see more tea videos in the future, and until then, we'll see you next time.